welcome back to another episode of something that's not 3 for Thursday. Okay, so just welcome back to my channel, and I'm finally making videos again. I know, what is 2020, right? So I am Gladdy from Heart Take the Wheel, your brand and business photographer. In this video, I want to talk about photographing products with a purpose, like starting with a purpose in mind. When onboarding a new client, I ask them about the intention of these photos. Where will the photos be used the most, and what's on their mind to refresh with these photos? These questions and diving into that one-on-one with them helps me understand how to style and shoot for that purpose in mind. So let me give you some examples so you can understand why this is so important. Before we go into some examples, I do want to talk about how a lot of people come to me without a purpose in mind, and so therefore this conversation kind of doesn't really help. And so I do the best I can, because most often if you're not really thinking about that, then you don't know how to answer the question. You're just like, well, I'll just get photos and I'll be able to use them anywhere I want to refresh my brand and my social media and my websites and whatever. It doesn't matter, I just need photos, right? And then you'll see in these examples why you really need to start with the end in mind. So the first example is a website banner or a hero image, right? The big banner image you see when you land on a page, or a landing page image, things like that. So if I don't know, or if your photographer isn't aware that that is a big thing you want to tick off on your list, then there's a good chance a lot of the photos that you receive might have a lot of central focused subjects, right? Like portraits might be done mainly where you're kind of in the center, or maybe like 2/3, but like you're taking up a lot of the middle of the frame, or your product is centrally focused. A lot of the style and stuff is like focused on the product in the center. If we don't know that, then that might be a lot of what you get in return, right? Now, why that's bad is a lot of designs for websites, especially if you're trying to put that hero image, need that center image, the center space, to be empty or to be negative. So you can put copy there, a button, a tagline, your headline, your brand name, your logo, whatever it may be. Or like a box for if you're doing a landing page or a cover page, you need like that center area to be blank or, mostly negative, so that you can put words there, right? That's the idea. And if you could see the issue, like if you have like a smiling face right in the center, there's a good chance you'll have copy right on their nose or their teeth or their eyes, and it's not appealing. Or if you have a lot of product, it's too busy in the center and you have words on top of that, it's too hard to see through the noise of all of that. It's kind of too much, right? You want some images, typically with like maybe the person, like a portrait, right, has a lot of negative space on the left or the right of them, looking into where the words are going to be, or their call to action on the landing page. Or you have styled stuff all around the edges, and maybe your products on the bottom, or framing the sides, and so then you could just put like your brand name or your product name or whatever right in the center of the frame. So we need to know that, and you need to know what like your website is designed as, because sometimes it's all about you left align your whole site. So we need to shoot with the focus being on something on the right side, negative space on the left. So knowing that is going to set you up for success when you go to change out your banner image, hero image, whatever it is, landing page, etc. So that's a big one that I see a lot of times. If you don't think about that, then you end up looking at all these photos and seeing that you can't really use them for the purpose you had in mind. Another big example is Instagram, right? A lot of times we assume, hey, we just need photos, we'll be able to put them to use on social media everywhere, it's fine. And while a lot of them you could just make it work, the idea that can be a problem is if your photographer, or if I am shooting your products or whatever, and I shoot a tight crop, then the default aspect ratio for most cameras is like 3:2 for landscape, 2:3 for whatever. So it's a 3:2 is the default kind of aspect ratio. That doesn't crop down well if you need to put this into Instagram, right? Which is a 1:1 square or 16:9 for stories. It means you're going to cut something off. And sometimes that looks fine, but if it's a product focused image and you need all of that detail to remain in the shot, then that's not fine. And it means you're going to have to, deal with the, creative crop, or you're going to have to take it into Photoshop and crop it with the extra space, have content aware fill in the difference, right? So that sometimes works fine if you're comfortable doing that. That's fine. But if we know that in advance, then we can make sure that there's a good percentage of photos that, we leave a lot of space so that when you do that crop, it's not cutting off anything important. So the point here is, when shooting for brand and business, to think about the purpose first. Ask yourself what's happening in the business over the next 3 to 6 months. Are you launching anything? Are there any big events happening? Do you have to do a rebrand or a refresh of the website? Do you need ads? Do you have to shoot for print purposes? Do you need room for copy? Or is it going to be in a magazine to where you have to fill it with copy? Is it going to be used for business cards? What are the primary social platforms, etc.? So there's a lot of questions that you could ask yourself or your clients or whoever you're working with, or ask yourself these questions so you could take it to a photographer and be ready and know that your shot list is going to meet your needs. So I hope you took something away from that, especially going into your next photo shoot, whether you're shooting the photos or you're hiring someone else to. And you can always catch me on Instagram and DM me questions and stuff there. And until then, I will see you in the next video.